Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a Tuesday night blether. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. Hasn't it been a glorious weekend weather-wise, eh? Absolutely brilliant. I don't know if it shows, but I've spent a lot of time at the back of the house over the weekend, enjoying the sun, although I tend to sit in the shade, which might seem a bit of a contradiction. Good evening, Alison. Hope you've had a good weekend. I'm sure you have. Busy as usual. And yeah, I've been I actually have seen this budgie. Have you seen the Roger Waters, the latest lefty to be attacked by his own cult? I have seen it. Ah, there's the man who was missing and has now appeared. Exile the Viking, I was just about to say. He has appeared, Exile Viking, so we can take him off the amber and put him back on the green light. 3 lights, we've got green light for okay, amber missing, and red really missing. So we can take exiled Viking off the amber light and put him back on the green light, and there is Toffee as well. Good evening, Toffee. And Streaky Bacon. I am, as well as I able to say, I finally, only today, believe it or not, only today have I finally gotten all the ingredients I need. Oh, right. He's just been released from YouTube prison. Well, that's going to be happening to a lot more of us more often now that these new rules and what have you have come in. I don't even know what they are. You can't keep up with this stuff. You just can't. And there's Rory. So I still haven't caught up. I've been trying over the weekend on and off. I haven't caught up with Ian Marr. I've got his number and I've tried him a few times, but I haven't got a hold of him yet. So I'm sure he's just enjoying the weather out with his dog and cycling and what have you. At least I'm hoping that's what's wrong. When the weather's good like that, you have to take advantage of it, and perhaps that's all that's going on. Oh, Martin Bryce. Oops, Martin Bryce. Evening, John. Hello from Glasgow, Pollock. Well, good evening to you, Martin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a new name on here. And good evening, Julia. Now try him again, you know. Okay, Toffee. Don't worry about Ian, says Toffee. He answers sporadically. He'll be fine. As I say, I'm sure it is fine, but you know what I'm like. Well, maybe I'm sure you all have got an idea of what I'm like. DJ, how are you, sir? Hope you're okay. I'm watching your material. I like these short things that you do. Have you been on a few times, Martin? Okay. Just I don't, the name just doesn't click to my mind, so that's all that means. Mr. Myrtle, good evening. And I have tried via email to be in touch with Raymond Piper, and I have not received a reply from Ian either. And I still haven't replied. I still haven't had a reply from Jody about supplying me with a date for coming on the live stream. So I'll need to put out another I'll send another email to Joni. DJ, I spoke with Scott's Armour briefly about your idea regarding my shorter videos. When I catch up with him properly, I'll see what's what, but it's a good idea. Well, the way I'm looking at it, DJ, and only he and I at the moment know what we're talking about here, and for the moment, we'll just leave it at that, if you don't mind, folks. We have to do something. We just can't be like the boxer in the ring, taking the punches one after the other and not trying to punch back. That's my view. So long as we are, whoever does this, whoever takes this responsibility on, makes absolutely sure that the information is airtight, correct, and legal, then I think it's a worthwhile effort. And I'll be interested to see how that develops. As I say, it's only an idea. If anyone's got a better one, we can go with a better idea. That's the main thing, is to do some counter punching when we can. That's always been my view. And who are these folk anyway, setting themselves up? Who are they? Nobody's. So anyway, we'll see how that develops, DJ. I'm glad it was not poo-pooed out of hand, which was good. Pleased about that. Right, I want to say something on a slightly formal note. Now, there's no denying that this channel is incredibly small. It has a very limited reach. I don't think it has any real influence, not even within our own circles does it have any real authority. However, I wouldn't feel right if I don't bring up the subject of Gonzalo Lira. I have used his material on here. If you don't know who Gonzalo is, he is an American citizen who's living in Ukraine. He's a journalist. He's got a YouTube channel, and I believe he does that Telegraph channel as well. Streaky obviously knows who I'm talking about. Now, as I say, I have used this material on here, and I am sub to his YouTube channel. But at the beginning of May this year, he was awakened rudely by the Ukraine secret police at gunpoint. There was about at least 5 of them with these automatic rifles. And he was immediately arrested and taken into custody. And no one has seen hide or hair of him since. We don't know what's happening. We don't know if he's still alive. We don't know if he's being tortured. We know nothing. And on top of that, it looks like, and I say looks like, the American authorities are doing naught about it. They don't seem to be following up this. And the last thing that anyone wants is to be lingering somewhere in a hostile environment. I think you're right, Toffee. I don't think anyone in the right senses is believing this. So, in the off chance, in the outside chance that someone somewhere stumbles across this live stream and hears what I'm saying, and you're an American, please, for goodness sake, write to your local political figure, your state governor, senators, anyone you can, and demand that they get the release of Gonzalo before something dreadful happens to him. Now, I'm not saying something dreadful will happen to him, but the longer he is incommunicado, the more his relatives will fear for his life. He's a married man and he has 2 children. He has various relatives and they all live in California. Well, Skywalker, if people don't make a fuss, then nothing will certainly happen. If you get the bigger the fuss you can make, then who knows? I'm not hopeful myself. I think, if anything, they rounded them up before the Ukrainian grand offensive took place. And I think that's why he's been kept incommunicado, so that he cannot report. What's going on inside Ukraine. Anytime I've watched them and I watch all his videos, he does not mention anything like the Ukrainian army positions or anything like that. He does not do that. It's purely on the politics. I'm from Scotland. Mary Boyd, hi from Scotland. You're the first YouTuber I've seen. Yeah, well, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Well, I don't know enough about guns and rifles, Rory, to answer that. Was Gonzalo arrested by the Ukrainian police carrying UK-47 rifles? I don't know. I don't know anything about guns, except what I've ever seen in a film, and I wouldn't go too much on that. Again, I can't answer, Exiled. There's a bit of green screen John going on too. I don't know. He's definitely been disappeared, without a doubt. As I say, me bringing up the subject, I don't expect it to happen. But it makes me feel a bit better that I know I've spoken out about his plight. And you never know what an American just might hear this and might write to somebody who can do something. Good evening, Space Hopper. Yes, he does ride the motorcycle, and that's the other worry as far as I'm concerned, because he does ride the motorcycle, and people know that he rides a motorcycle. So if you were ever looking for a convenient way to have an accident, that would be it. So we can't do anything else unless you're someone who believes in the power of prayer. You could say a prayer for him. But that's not everyone's way. So he knew he was putting his neck out when he was reporting. I mean, he often said it himself. But on he went. And there's no way he can be possibly charged with treason because he's not a Ukrainian citizen. He's an American citizen, and it's incumbent upon the American authorities to do something about it. Good evening, William. Nice to see you here. But this is a small channel with no reach, no influence. So there's nothing more I can do except what I've said. Anyway, before I go any further, I'm going to show some photographs tonight. And these photographs have got children featured in them. Now, before anybody gets their underwear in a twist over this, I've already got permission from the parents involved to show these photographs. But before I do any of that, I'm going to put, oh, there's St. Thomas Aquinas here with us as well. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Please leave a prayer for Gonzalo in the chat. That would be rather good if people did that. So before I show the photographs, I'm going to put a link to the stream in the chat. Now, please, 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 I'm looking for Paca to come on because he's involved in this. And I'd rather nobody else jumped in. I want to be able to speak to Paca on a one-to-one about the weekend, okay? Because he and Steve Cray were camping over the weekend, and they had their boys with them. And so I'd like to invite Paca on and tell us about all the fun and games and great time they had. So I'll put in the invitation, and I'm asking that no one else pops in. That can perhaps happen a bit later. We can perhaps open it up a bit. So let me put on my earmuffs and we'll hopefully get Paca to join me. I say I've got the photographs all set up, but as I wasn't there, there's not a lot I can say. So we really need Paca to come on and tell us all about this grand adventure they had over the weekend. PBC. Again, that's another new. Oh, there he is. There he is. Good evening, Paca.
Evening, John. How are you?
I'm all right. Give us a wee sound check. Make sure you're okay.
Testing. 1, 2, 2, 2.
Did you ever notice that about rock and rollers? They can only count to 3.
I never heard them get
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Paca. Do you want to just fill us in, or would you rather I just put up one of the photographs and you can talk away from there? Tell us all about your weekend.
Well, Steve said in the chat a couple of weeks back that he was thinking of taking his boy and his boy's best mate camping, and I kind of invited myself along and took my boy. Is what happened.
Okay.
But we had a great time.
Okay, let me bring on the first photograph here. As you already know, I did check with Steve this afternoon about showing these photographs because of
Yeah, he messaged me today.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. This is Paca and these 3 lads in what looks like a beautiful setting. Where is this, Paca?
It is a top secret location on account of I don't think we particularly had permission to be there.
Okay, that's fine. Was that a good location?
Yeah, it was all right actually. It was a nice little wooded area. There was somewhere just off the road to hide my truck so that we wasn't going to get noticed. I met Steve, and we piled all the stuff in the back of my truck, and off we went. He knew where we was going. And then, apart from my tent, most of the gear there, you see, is Steve's because he provided virtually everything and
Excellent.
bought and cooked most of the food.
Really?
Yeah, he's an excellent host.
Wow.
He even
So,
supplied me with beer.
wow. So it was a good, fun weekend then.
Mm.
And what about the boys? Was this a huge adventure for them?
Uh, I don't know about huge, but they certainly had a good time. They spent most of the time running around the woods, smashing sticks up. And Steve bought them all catapults with laser sights on, and about 1 million clay balls to shoot. So they were biodegradable. We spent the most of the afternoon and evening listening to these clay balls pinging off trees and stuff.
So when did you set off? Was it Friday evening?
No, Saturday lunchtime-ish. I went
Right.
and picked him up. We just stayed one night.
Okay. So Saturday you come back on Sunday at some point.
Yes, we came back Sunday morning.
Excellent.
Just a nice afternoon and evening in the woods while I slowly got drunk and we sat and made each other laugh.
Well, sounds good to me already. So this is the first time camping for these boys, though.
My boy, yeah. I don't know about Steve's, but yeah, mine. And he had a good time. It gets him off his Xbox and away from the internet, which he didn't seem to mind at all.
Good.
I try and find him other things to do, but it's tricky when he's got all that gear in his bedroom. He tends to
I
live up
know.
there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it looks beautiful wherever it is you are.
It really was. It was a lovely day, which helps. So, but it was
Yeah.
actually, well, I found it quite chilly in the woods, hence the coat and the silly hat.
Is that not? That's not your free corner top you're wearing there.
No, that's one of them like woolly hats with the ear flaps.
All
But
right.
I'd rolled the ear flaps up a bit. I've got a fine selection of hats, John.
I know. You have told me this before. So, were the boys quite happy about sleeping outdoor?
Yes, they bags it. Steve bought an air mattress, which they pumped up with much enthusiasm and bags it for themselves. But of course, that went down about 2 hours after they all went to bed. And they was grumbling and complaining. We had some little thin ground mat things that Steve had bought. I today, where I work, I was cleaning out the loft, and I have found us 2 lovely foam mattresses for next time we go.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Great big thick things that should be on beds, but they've been in the loft in where I work for about, well, at least all the 6 years I've worked there.
Sure.
We had a fire warden come around and check the home a couple of weeks back, and he looked in that loft and went, well, this lot's got to go. So I spent all day today, and I'll spend several more days emptying the loft out. But yeah, I bagsy them.
Quite right. So who did the cooking?
Well, we shared the cooking, but my cooker was rubbish because it's a butane one. You see the frying pan there. We were up one ring, and Steve bought I think it was propane cooker with 2 rings, which got a lot hotter and cooked everything much quicker.
Do you have an open fire?
We did. He bought a big metal. He bought everything. He bought a big metal tray for a fire pit, and we spent an hour or 2 going around collecting wood and burnt hardly any of it. But they toasted marshmallows and had a great time.
Excellent. Excellent.
We got a massive pile of wood. He got up early the next morning because he'd heard voices. There was a public footpath not far, and he heard someone walking along the public footpath effing and jeffing on the phone. He was
Right.
unsure whether or not that person had seen us and was ringing someone, or whether he was just having a row with someone on the phone. So he got up and scattered the wood and tidied everything up. By the time I woke up, everything was tidy and breakfast was on, which was tipped up. Oh, and there was a vixen in the middle of the night screaming its head off.
Yeah, well, he did say to me this afternoon that I should ask you about the fox.
Yeah, well, I got up, I think about 3:30 in the morning. I woke up desperate for a wee on account of the amount of beer I'd drunk. And this vixen was screaming, which is very eerie. And in my
Oh,
attempt to get,
it's a terrible noise. It's a terrible sound they make.
oh, it's awful.
Awful, absolutely awful.
In my haste to get out of the tent, I immediately buggered the zip, which I then spent 5 minutes struggling with, and I had to leave it till the morning to sort out. Went out another hole in the tent. But yeah, a right proper horrible, eerie noise it is. One of the boys woke up and was slightly freaked, I think, but it was
Sure.
all right.
Just calm him down, tell him what it was.
And I think I went a fair way to convincing Steve to go on my diet while I was there.
I didn't know you were on a diet.
Yeah, I'm on a carnivore diet, John. It's very nice.
Okay.
I just eat meat and meat products, and I feel a lot better.
No vegetables at all.
No vegetables at all whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. No seed oils, nothing. No carbs, no sugar.
Right.
I drink tea and coffee with no sugar in it.
Right. Okay.
Although I will drink beer, so I do fail slightly on that front.
Well, if you want a glass of beer, yeah, you're going to have to get some sugar in you along with the beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll bring on another photograph. So there we go, folks. So what's that in the background, this thing here?
What thing you looking at exactly?
Oh, right, I forgot. I'm forgetting I have to put this over here so that I can point with my...
That is a 2-tier table that Steve bought, including bags and rubbish bin. There's a rubbish bin hanging on the end of it. I never actually looked in that bag under there.
Okay.
Yeah, he bought a fold-out table, 2 chairs for us.
Good Lord.
I know. I was ready to sit on the floor, but no. When I went to pick him up, his car was absolutely chocker. Absolutely. He'd put 2 of the back seats down to cram everything in. There was no way our stuff was going in his, so we chucked it all in the back of my truck.
Okay. And this is, of course, the cooker here.
That's his also, yes, pretty good cooker, that. It was all singing, all dancing.
Yeah.
And that's his boy.
This young fella here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's standing in the background with his hands in his pockets, look.
This is yours.
Like his dad. Yeah, the missus saw that and said, well, why is he stood exactly like you? Oh, probably because he's mine.
Excellent. Excellent. So what age is your lad again? 10, is it?
He's 10. Yeah, I think they're all 10. One might be 11 and the other one might be nearly 11. But yeah, mine's not 11 till October.
And I'm going to assume then that they all just got on like a house on fire.
Yeah, they got on great.
Typical kids, isn't it? No formal introductions. They just, and they're off.
Kind of. I mean, they said hello to each other and was introduced when we all got in the truck. And then by the time we got to where we were going, about 20 minutes later, they were firm friends.
Yeah, can imagine. This is terrific. Absolutely terrific. So did you and Steve stay up a bit later?
Yeah, we stayed up watching 42. We got to late on in the evening, and Steve put his phone on because he'd been saving his battery, and Danger was on, so we watched the end of that, and then watched 42.
Excellent.
But we was chatting and laughing and larking about by that point, so I didn't really catch much of 42.
But you weren't out really for that. You were out for the experience and to give your lad memories. These are things that he won't ever forget, Parker. He'll look back on it and I remember that time I went camping with my dad for the first time.
You'll notice that Steve isn't in any of the photos because he's shy. Bless him.
Yeah, he's a
Why he thinks
photographer here. That's usually what happens to me. I usually adopt my role as photographer and don't appear much in photographs. Good evening, James Hayworth. Nice to see you here. Hope you're all right, my friend. Yeah, they look at ease in the wild. Is it truly in the wild, or is it just the way it looks?
Well, it's kind of just the way it looks. I mean, it's quite rural around here anyway, and it was just outside of a
Well, don't give it
very
away
small,
too much.
just outside of a very small town, but it was a couple of miles down a back lane,
Sure.
and then there's these woods, and he said just round this corner there's a gate, pull in, and then you can hide your truck in the trees, and I did.
So will you return to this at some point?
Well, now I've got some comfy mattresses, yeah, because it was very uncomfortable sleeping.
Yeah, I'll
I
bet.
was glad I'd had a few beers because I don't think I'd have got to sleep otherwise. But poor old Steve done his back writing.
He did mention that this afternoon. Yeah, he did mention. So when's the last time you were out camping then, Packer?
Me, well, I used to go a lot. I used to go to festivals quite a lot. Went through festivals all through my 20s and 30s, and then after my mum died, my dad started to go to there's like a Django Reinhardt festival in France,
All right.
and me, my dad, and my brother used to go to that, which is brilliant. I thoroughly recommend that to anybody who likes gypsy jazz. It's on an island south of Paris on the river.
Yeah, I've got
Very
one of his
a very
albums.
beautiful village. It's all the houses are Art Nouveau.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, really, really nice.
Amazing. Steve saying uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's, uncomfortable doesn't really cover it.
Understatement, I think, there, Packer.
Yeah, well, as you can see, like from that picture, it's well in the trees, so there's roots and lumps everywhere.
You can imagine. Oh, I don't know. Special K is saying, let's go camping. You're inspiring folk in the chat.
Special K's in Canada, isn't she?
Yeah, she is indeed.
I'm not going that far.
No, no, not for the weekend anyway. Well, again, if this initiative of Woodlander takes off, then we'll have our own place to go. We don't have to worry about other folk.
That would be nice. We could have proper meetups, couldn't we?
Yep, without any over the shoulder looking. Yeah, it's a good shot. I like that shot.
Yeah, we did spend some time trying to keep the boys quiet because you know how excitable 10-year-old boys can get, and we was not meant to be there. So there was a lot of "shut up, you lot, shut up."
Yeah, well, they'd be full of excitement, and of course they are full of energy anyway at that age. So I can imagine the fun they had. As I say, they'll be talking about it forever now.
Yeah, Steve bought a massive bag of sweets for them, which I think was a mistake because they got properly sugared up.
Streaky saying, back and Steve actually camped at the back of Melbury services on the M4 behind the Burger King, but they are embarrassed to say, says Streaky.
I'll tell you now, Streaky, I would never go near a Burger King.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Not my kind of place either, Packer.
Last time I went to Burger King, I was on my way to Wales to a wedding, and I got food poisoning from the Burger King and had a very, very, very uncomfortable night.
Oh. No, I wouldn't go near these places. Yeah. I think the last time I tried a McDonald's was, oh, glory. Got to be at least 40 years ago. At least 40 years ago.
Was it a
That was
Wendy?
it. That was it. Well, it was a new thing in Glasgow at the time, and I was up there with Helen, and wow, I'll try it, That was it. First and last. Not my cup of tea at all. Would you ever be tempted to do the open fire cooking? Or is it that too iffy?
No, I'd cook on an open fire. It would have been easier than cooking on my stupid little cooker that I had, to be fair. I got it off a neighbour. She said she was throwing it out, and now I know why.
Well, modern camping equipment makes it all so much easier, I must say, than it was when I was. When did I last go camping? 16. Well, no, that's not quite true. The last time I went camping was when the group that I was in, we all went on holiday to Port Rush, and I had a big army style tent, and we took that, which easily accommodated 5 of us plus 2 guitars and clothing. Unfortunately, it was a typical army tent insofar as it had no sewn in ground sheets, so that was a bit of a drawback. You can imagine, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh dear. Never mind. Right, let's have another photograph, shall we? At first, when I saw this, I thought it was actually bows you had.
Oh, the slingshots.
Yeah, I had to look carefully.
Action shot, look.
Yeah.
I put a tin can in a tree for them, and I don't think they hit it once. I had a go and couldn't hit it either.
Not as easy as it seems, is it?
I was quite good with them when I was a kid, but they didn't have laser sights on. I think you'd have to set up the sight properly, though.
Yeah.
Because it could theoretically be pointing anywhere, couldn't it?
Well, like yourself, when I was a boy, I made my own as well, tying elastic bands together, cut from a piece of tree.
Oh, I had a like a Chinese monkey metal type thing.
Oh, right.
You know that horrible grey metal that the Chinese make. Yeah, they make a lot of cheap tools out of it.
Yes, Doc, it is a catapult. It is a modern thing. So, and I take it the boys had fun with that.
Yeah, they was spent most of the time running around with them, and when they wasn't doing that, they was smacking sticks on trees.
No tree climbing.
A little bit, but not much. As you can see, the trees aren't particularly climbable.
No, no, I can see that. They're quite young, apart from anything else. And as you say, not particularly climbable.
I swung from one for about 5 seconds just to make sure it wasn't going to break off and fall on the tent.
So, do you think you'll use this site again, or will you try somewhere else?
I don't know. I'd rather go somewhere where we've got permission, but you know, push comes to shove,
Yeah,
just for a night, just for a laugh.
yeah,
I think
sure.
next time I shall bring a bottle of whiskey to keep warm.
Have you thought about somewhere close to the beach? Or is that not possible where both of you are?
Well, we're in Lincolnshire, so the nearest beach would be Skeg, and it's quite
Not suitable.
populated down that way. There is plenty of quite barren coastline, but it's you know, off the North Sea, so I would expect it would be quite cold.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I had the motorbike, quite often we do that at the weekend, pack, pack a tent, but take nothing with us. Find a local chippy. But we always put the tents up close to the beach in a protected area whenever we could find it, to protect us against the wind. And then sit round an open fire and get merrily sozzles.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Steve says we can camp next to the beach, so we'll
All
perhaps
right,
do that next time.
I missed that one. We can we can camp next to the beach. Just a different kind of experience, of course.
Yeah. Well, summer's nearly in full swing, so that might be a good idea.
Mm. But again, I would tend to be on your side when it comes to the North Sea, even in decent weather. East Coast's always cold, I find, no matter
Yeah.
what the weather's like. I keep forgetting I'm on the West Coast, which has got a little bit of protection, I suppose, especially in weather like this. It's ideal up round Loch Lomond and places like that.
Or you've got the luxury of the Gulf Stream coming up that side, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, when it's good.
I
Uh,
used to holiday a lot on Mull.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a beach other side of Mull, Calgary, I think it's called, and the water gets warm.
really?
Yeah, in the middle of summer, well, towards
Wow.
the end of summer, the water's quite nice. It's certainly warmer than I've ever found it on the east coast of England.
There's lots of places up round by Loch Lomond, but that means you need to travel up here to Scotland. That's a bit of a trek for a weekend. Be different if you're thinking about 5 days or something.
Well, yeah,
And
I
there,
wouldn't, I wouldn't completely disregard it. I think if we were to go camping up in Scotland, I might want to move about a bit because
yeah,
there's lots of beautiful places up there.
absolutely. That's just off the top of my head, Loch Lomond. But yeah, there's There's plenty of good places all down the other side of River Clyde.
Right, Loch
Well,
Lomond. Is that north of Glasgow? Am I right? Wrong.
well, it's more like west of Glasgow.
Right, because I remember when I used to go up there, I used to go through Glasgow and then past Loch Lomond on my way to Oban.
Yeah. Resisting the lies, DJ is saying you can't camp there without a permit. He's talking about Loch Lomond.
All right.
Well, that shows you how much it's changed since I was ever there. Of course, I forgot it's been turned into a national park. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Steve's saying yes, Pack. I don't know what to. Yes, what?
I don't know.
Oh, camping in Scotland, maybe.
Yeah. Doc saying we need to get to figure out why Dawn can't be seen in the chat, John. Well, Scottish Armour sent me some instructions which I followed up on, and I can say with absolute certainty that nowhere in this software have I accidentally banned her. There is nothing there that suggests that she shouldn't appear in the chat. So I have no idea what is going on. That's all I can say about that. As I say, Scott's Armour gave me this video to check out, and I did. But it's all clear so far as I can tell. So yeah, you might, if you're coming up here, if you're ever thinking about doing that and thinking about Loch Lomond, it would be a good idea to check that out. My info's way out of date, of course. In my time, you could just go up there, as long as you behaved yourself and didn't destroy anything, you were fine. Um, Question: in a location like that, do you have midges?
Apparently so. Steve said you got bitten. But I was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't suffer much. Maybe I'm the wrong type of meat for him. I don't know. Might be an idea if we go camping about. We can knock on a few doors. Yours for a start. He's still there, John. Is it me frozen or him? Oh, he's gone. Oh, it's my stream now. What do you want to talk about? Is he coming back? He's trying. I hate it when they do this. But Dangerfield did this to me once. As soon as there's no one else here, I've got nothing to say. Streaky, how about we come and camp near your house? Who dug the latrine? There was only the boys went to the toilet and they got sent off with a roll of toilet paper and a little trowel. Sort yourself out time it was. Oh, streak. This is good, isn't it? I'm not singing you a song, mannequin.
Leave this. Ah, there we're back. Sorry about that, Pack. I have no idea what's going on.
Where you been?
Don't know where we've been, but we've been someplace and we're back now.
I was here the whole time, I think. Well, most of it.
No. At my end, it was all gone. Don't know what's going on. Anyway, we'll carry on. Oh, bum bum. I think I've got another photograph to show. And it's of your good self. Ta-da! Robin Hood strikes again.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't great with it. I'm not sure Steve even had a go. But they were nifty little things.
Yeah, we're back, Duck. I don't know what was going on there. As you all know, I use hardwire connections, so I don't know. No idea. Well, he was obviously the official photographer for the outing. Next
He
time
was the
you
official everything of the outing. He took charge. It was lovely. I didn't have to lift a finger hardly, other than put the tent up, which he helped me
well,
with.
that's good. Maybe that's just his natural personality at work there, Packer.
I hope so, because I plan to spend more time with him.
Well, that's what I'm so pleased that you've made this connection with each other. That's what we're trying to do here. Create communities.
When I first became aware that he was local to me, I assumed he was someone from Lincolnshire. So I
Uh-huh.
was calling him Yellow Belly. It turns out he's more London than me. Well, he's Luton, to be fair, but he's just as
Yeah,
southern as I am.
sure. Well, you look very intense. Anyway, that's all I can say. You look as though you're trying to hit something.
I was trying, yeah. I wasn't achieving though.
Well, there you go. Thumbs up from my fellow yellow.
He's been up this way longer than me, so we are honorary yellow bellies. Oh, nice one, Steve. I'm looking intense. I was actually pointing it the other way, but good try. Have you frozen again, John? Here we go again. Well, I can tell you a joke. So there's this Englishman and a Welshman. And the Englishman says to the Welshman, "Is that your dog?" And the Welshman says, "Yeah." So the Englishman says, "Is it all right if I talk to him?" And the Welshman says, "Well, he's a dog, he can't talk." And the Englishman says, "Hello, dog. Is this your owner?" And the dog says, "Yeah, yeah, it's my owner." And the Welshman looks amazed. And the Englishman says, does he treat you all right? And the dog says, yeah, he treats me fine. He feeds me. I got a nice warm house bed to sleep in. Feeds me every day. He's great. Then the Englishman says to the Welshman, is this your horse? And the Welshman says, yeah, but my horse can't talk. And the Englishman says to the horse, is this your owner? And the horse says, yeah, it is, yeah. And then he says to the horse, does he treat you all right? And the horse says, yeah, he treats me fine. I've got a nice stable and he feeds me and he brushes me down, takes me out for exercise. It's great. Welshman's looking totally stunned. Then the Englishman says to this Welshman, is that your sheep? And the Welshman says, that fucking sheep's a liar. But not the same when you don't hear a laugh, although it might just have been that bad. Come on, John. Interesting comment. My granddad was abducted by 2 aliens years ago, but now I am in contact with an alien who says he is safe. Should I report this info to the authorities, or do you think he will be returned safely by the alien? I'm guessing if there are aliens, the authorities know. Someone else come in.
Me, Dawny.
Dawn, how are you?
I'm really sad. I can't chat.
I know. I was
I don't
going to say,
understand
where
why
you
I
been?
was
We ain't
here.
seen the chat for a few days.
Yeah. Yep. Well, this is odd, isn't it? Because I can come in here, so I don't understand it.
How's Doggo and the chickens?
Oh, he's great. Yeah. Are you chatting in John's as well? Because I can hear him in the background, but
You can
I
hear
don't know how
John.
this works. I can only hear him really vaguely. Like I can hear you as well now, talking to John.
I cannot hear John. I cannot see or hear him.
Maybe me jumping in has fucked something up. Oh dear. Um, but I can hear him talking. Oh,
It was knackered before you got here, Dawn.
I can see that. Yeah, it's still dark here. 7 o'clock in the morning. Your camping trip looked good.
Yeah, we did have fun. I can't.
Yeah.
He brought me like 8 beers, and I drunk 7 of them. So later on, it's quite blurry. I can't remember, but I can remember sitting in the deck chairs in the pitch dark, laughing my head off.
Did you just go for one night?
Yeah, just the one. We got there sort of lunchtime, set up, mucked around for several hours, got the kids all sugared up, watched them crash. Managed to, toasted some marshmallows, had some dinner,
Oh,
toasted
yum.
marshmallows, sent them to bed, and then I got very drunk, and we just sat in the dark chuckling about stuff, which I can't remember because too many beers.
Have you ever met up before?
Yeah, we went on the a march in Skeg over
Cool.
the migrant hotels, which
Yeah.
is where I first actually met him. Like I say, I've known him on here for quite a long time and was aware that he was fairly local and was kind of looking for an excuse to meet him.
Yeah.
And that was a good one.
Did you tee it up to meet, or did he see you and recognise you?
No, we arranged to meet on the march because he's much more local to Skeg than I am. So he told me where to park and he'd meet me there.
Yeah, that's handy.
It was, because now I know where to park without paying in Skeg.
I'm just going to go on my pad and see if I can see what's going on if John's on. Because I can hear you and you're talking in the background. Maybe it's like a delay or something. Where am I? There. YouTube. Alright, it's showing. Right. There. Oh, there you go. You can hear now. YouTube. Alright. Oh, showing. It's me. I can hear.
You getting your own echo?
I wonder if everyone else is listening to us and not John.
Yeah.
Well, somebody.
Everyone else is listening to us and not John.
That's a terrible echo now. Are you on StreamYard and YouTube?
Yes.
Go to YouTube and mute it.
All right, hold on. How do I do that without? Hold on, I'll just put it on pause. See what happens. Can you still hear me now?
Can still hear you now, yeah. And there's no echo.
Oh, okay. Well, I've paused it on my phone, but I'm listening on my pad. And on my pad, all I can see is you and me. And I can hear us talking, obviously, because you can hear us in the background. And in chat, I'll pause that one. Right, I've paused both of them now.
That's
but
better.
They're saying in chat, Steve Crozier said I can't see John.
No,
then
John's
somebody else said it's fine, John. We can hear you okay. John is true.
Now I can't hear you, Dawn. This is awful. Evil demons, as Sensen would say.
Yep.
Lickspittle. I like it when he says lickspittle.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave.
There's a humble.
There's John. Hi, John. We've been having a lovely chat, Packer and I.
Well, I still haven't got Packer, though.
Well, I'm here.
Are you here? Right,
I'm here.
Okay. I have no image, though. I'll take you out and put you back in. See if that helps. Right, we're kind of there. So just for the moment, I think we'll leave it. Okay.
Okay. Don't put any more pictures up, John.
No, well, I haven't got any more to put up. That was the last.
That's all
right. Right. So welcome to
Nice
Dawn.
to see you, John.
Yeah, well, it's nice not to see you because I can't see you. I take it that's intentional, of course.
I don't know what. Oh, yeah. No, I've got a sticker on there, and I'm still in bed, John.
All right, okay.
Just get out of
the now I'm interested.
Now he's interested. So long as we can hear you, Dawn, that's the main thing. So let me say right away, I don't know why you can't appear in the chat. Scott's Armour sent me an email with a link to it. I used the link and I checked everything that was there, and there is no place where I have accidentally banned anyone, including yourself. It's all clear at that end. So why
Yep.
you're not appearing in the chat anymore is a mystery to me.
Yeah.
But
This
at
is very
least
strange.
you're in the stream.
I know. How does that work?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm lost here.
Uh,
I'm very limited to my knowledge in this stuff. I've usually
yeah.
got to lean on my son. He's the one that knows a bit more than I do. But
Yeah.
we'll
Well, there's
make do
obviously
we'll
glitch
make
in the system somewhere.
somewhere. We'll make do and mend with what we have. We've got you on audio. Packer?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got Packer on audio and me on visual. And I think I'm happy to leave it at that for tonight. So, Dawn, tell me about Australia land. What is it like?
Um, um, I don't see snakes. I don't see crocodiles. Well, I've seen a couple of snakes, but um, get lots of big spiders. Uh, it's winter here at the moment, but it's been really mild. We've had a couple of cool days where my lettuces have been shivering. But apart from that, everything's growing really well in the garden. Um, yeah, there's lots going on politically, which I won't bore you with because it won't be in your sphere. And yeah, no, I love it over here.
Excellent. Excellent.
Have you ever been to Australia, John?
No, no. That's a place that I've got no ambitions to visit. There's too many creepy corollies in Australia for my liking. Whoa, there's somebody's
Too many
hand.
what?
Creepy crawlies.
Yeah, creepy crawlies. Okay, yeah, yeah. Packer's playing with his pussy.
Yeah, I can see that. Packer, your camera's at the wrong angle here, my friend.
Oh, I thought you couldn't see me anymore.
No, we can now. We can see that beautiful cat of yours in your hand.
Oh dear.
This is Bear.
Yeah, lovely, lovely cat. Beautiful cat. No, it's a place I've had no ambitions for. My mother used to always tell me a story that when she and my dad first got married way back, he came in one day and he had these forums with him and threw them on. I'll tell you the story she used to tell me. He came in and he threw these forms on a table and said to her, I need you to fill them in because we're going to Australia, says he. And that was in the days when you could get to Australia for £10 or £15. And my mother lifted the forms and threw them in the fire and said, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh wow.
And she always had a wee sense of guilt about that decision because my father had this very rare chest condition, and she always thought that maybe the Australian weather would have saved his life, but I seriously doubt it, you know. But that's the nearest
Yeah, probably
I
not.
ever got. I was a baby, of course, at the time, so I've got no memory of any of this stuff. But that's the way she
Yeah.
would tell me the story. But no, not for me. No, Australia's not a place I've got any ambitions to see at all.
Yeah.
Not that I'm getting against Australia, except it's got too many creepy crawly things that can kill you.
We don't see them much. Well, I think all those £10 poms that did come out, pretty sure that they're still alive, John. Well,
Well,
not the original ones, but their families.
sure.
Uh,
And
Well, you don't go swimming. You don't go swimming in certain areas at
no,
certain times of the year.
shark.
Um, Yeah, shark, box jellyfish, stonefish up in Queensland. Um, yeah, so you just get to know what's around you, and you don't put your hand under a plant pot without having gloves on in case there's a redback,
Oh, for God's sake.
spider.
You put me off
Spider.
already.
Yeah,
No, no, no,
just
no.
get,
No, thank you.
you just get used to it.
Oh, I suppose. I suppose. I'd like the weather, though. Don't get me wrong about that. I love the weather. I
Oh yeah, it's
love the weather.
beautiful weather. Yeah. Oh well, thumbs up. I'm going off to let my chickens out, so I'll take you with me. You'll probably hear some chickens in the background, but I'll shut up for a minute.
Well, thanks very much for coming on. No, I don't know how you did it, but you somehow got on the stream.
I just clicked the link.
Oh, right.
I clicked it just probably about 30 seconds after you went missing.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
That's nice to speak to you, though.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. I do watch your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks lovely where you live. I must say that. It does look nice.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, I'm going up to the chicken shed. Quite warm this morning.
Okay. A nice surprise.
Here we go. Good morning, ladies. Hi. And of course, now they're all quiet.
Of course.
Yeah.
They know that they're being listened to by strangers. I can hear them.
Only one egg so far.
And how many do you usually get? How many eggs do you usually
four.
get? Right.
4 a day.
Out of how many
from
chickens?
4 chickens.
Oh, that's not bad.
They're not fully grown yet. Normally in winter they slow down laying. Come on, Bun Bun. Get the bunny out now. Good morning, little Shunt. He's called Little Shunt because he digs everywhere. He used to be called Little Cutie.
Let me ask you a question here, Don, while you're on the stream now. A lifetime ago, Australia had this problem with rabbits. Whatever happened to that problem?
Nixtamatosis. We still have issues because a lot of them have become immune to the disease. One of my rabbits actually contracted it because obviously with it being a domestic floppy-eared rabbit, he didn't have immunity.
Is your taxi?
Yeah. No, that's a clot shot bus. I think I can say that. Where were we? Oh, yeah, so we did lose one. But, yeah, no, we still do have issues with rabbits here.
Yeah. That's the danger.
That's why they built the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, well, that's the danger of taking animals to places they don't belong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get foxes here too, so our chicken coop's really secure.
Yeah. We've got a problem in this country with squirrels.
Yeah. The grey ones.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny that I was looking at a map the other day about where the remaining red squirrels are. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Pine trees are all right. Red squirrels. Pine forests are like. Grey ones don't.
Oh, is that so?
I believe so. Yeah, it's too harsh for the grey ones. They don't like it.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh, JJ, you just want to get it.
I got a funny
In
feeling the
England?
Romans brought rabbits in.
Oh,
What was that, Packer?
I said I got a funny feeling we shouldn't have rabbits either. I think the Romans brought them in.
Is that right? I didn't know that. I know it was a huge problem back when I was a young man. It was never out of the news. Terrible. And then I heard about this myxomatosis thing, and I often wondered, because then, like most of the things in the news, it disappeared. So I often wondered, where all the rabbits, did they all die off, or did some survive? Obviously,
no, a lot survived.
yeah. And they breed like rabbits, don't they?
But yes, they do. Oh, dear.
So you
Sound
wouldn't
jokes.
eat. So you wouldn't eat a rabbit caught in the wild then?
Well, you wouldn't want to because it'd probably be a bit sort of possibility of it being diseased. But
Right. You wouldn't take the
cost,
chance.
actually I would because it's because a lot of them are immune to it.
Right.
So yeah, I would.
Okay. So have you got all the chickens you're intending to have? Are you going to increase the chicken supply?
Yeah, Master Ben wants a couple more, but I don't see the point because I have trouble keeping up with what they lay as it is. Gosh, like yesterday I made what did I make? Treacle tart because that takes up a few eggs in the pastry and the filling. And I make custards, obviously. I make the bread that I bake. And it's actually a Korean recipe. It's called papang, like double P, papang,
Yeah.
and that's got a couple of eggs in it. The dog generally gets one for breakfast every second day. Chickens get an egg probably every 3 or 4 days. They love their own eggs.
Yeah.
And oh yeah.
Well, here's my next question then. How often do you see the old kangaroos? Do you see them often?
There's there's a reserve not far from us, but it's all enclosed. Edithvale wetlands. There's a few wallabies in there that are similar to kangaroos, not as big. But yeah, no, they don't go bounding down our street, and I've never ridden on the back of one. Don't see them here. You see them on the outskirts of Melbourne and in rural Victoria. Linda Hunter probably has a couple up her way.
Right. Are they
probably has quite a few deer.
Is kangaroos protected?
No.
So you can just go out and shoot them then?
Do you know? I'm not 100% sure, but people. I'm not sure if it's legal to do so, but yeah, people do, and nobody really bats an eye,
Okay. And what about these koala bears? What about them?
Yeah, not around here. Linda Hunter again. She's more in like a leafy area, I guess you call it. So she'll probably get them up there. Never seen one where we live. Yeah, so yeah, they're more confined to the bush regions.
Looks quite flat and open where you are, Linda, is it?
Linda or Dawn?
Sorry, Dawn. Flat and open where you are.
Right. It is. We're sort of on like close to like swampland, and sort of like wetland region, and it's like a little green pocket, I guess you'd call it. Yes, but you probably need to go about 20, 30 kilometres till you hit some hills.
Yeah, there's Lindell now.
I've got to shoot off for a sec, John. I'm just going to put the boy to bed.
No problem.
Back in a minute.
Sure, sure. Let's hope I'm still here when you come back.
Beautiful here at the moment. It's beautiful here at the moment. We call this bird o'clock. I've just had some sacred ibis flying over. I've got a
Yeah.
magpie stuck in a tree waiting for his breakfast.
Wow.
And there's a couple of starlings flying over. The cockies have just gone over to the waterlands. Oh, here we go. Magpie nearly sconed me on the head.
Right. I've got a question here from Space Hopper. She's asking me to ask you about the culling of bees.
There's been some regions where there has been a virus detected. There's also been some controversy over some people having their hives demolished and all the bees killed. The problem here is when you do have a bee hive, you have to register it. You can't just have unregistered beehives.
Oh, can you not?
No, because it needs to be monitored because of this virus. So if there is ever a virus outbreak of a virus in your area, then yeah, they will come along and cull them. But we do have a lot of Australian native bees, and oddly enough, they don't live in a hive with other bees. So they're called loner bees, and so they do a lot of work for us. But I always have loads of bees come into my garden. I specifically, I'm watching one right now. I specifically planted cosmos. I don't know if you know what cosmos is, but it's a
No, I
beautiful,
don't.
big flowering plant. Flowers particularly this time of year, which is our winter. So there's always some pollen there for the bees. And I planted marjoram, which also flowers this time of year, which they love as well. So yeah, no, it's a yeah, you've got to be careful about what you hear on the internet and what videos you see. But there was a video going around with some people who were very upset that their colonies were being killed. But yeah, they didn't have permission to have those hives. So
Okay.
sad.
Well, can I go
I
into?
think it's Space Hopper Mark. I think Space Hopper's name's Mark. It's a he, not a she.
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Okay.
All right.
Can I ask perhaps a more contentious question then?
Go on.
Tell me about the indigenous people.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't want it, it's okay. I'm not going to press you on it.
No. I'm fine. I've just got to be careful about what I would say.
Yeah, please do.
There's how do I say? Okay, I don't think I can get this out without sounding derogatory.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful people, but we need to face reality about their human condition, so to speak.
Okay.
And stop pretending that we're all the same.
Oh,
because
gosh.
there are clearly differences, and it needs to be addressed because we're just letting each other down,
Right.
including them,
Right.
by being in denial.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You don't have to say any more. I wasn't sure what the actual situation was. And obviously, I've not had an Australian person on here speaking before, so I'm just taking the opportunity while I have it.
That's cool. Well, there's a big push at the moment regarding Aboriginal voice to Parliament, which involves changing our constitution. Once constitution is changed, then it's going to be very difficult to change it back. There's a gentleman who was born in Belgium, who came to Australia in 1939. His name is Mark Liebler, parenthesis, parenthesis, parenthesis. And he's been he's basically a power broker lobbyist.
Right.
And he's been very cozy with our prime ministers going back to the days of Bob Hawke. And they've done a lot of influential changes, and he's been really pushing for this voice to Parliament from Aboriginals. Aboriginals are overrepresented on a per capita basis in our Parliament already as it is, because there are many non-government organisation groups who support their communities.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically causing a lot of racial tension in Australia at the moment, because it's going to be put to referendum. So you either vote yes or no. And the details behind what's involved in the voice to Parliament isn't clear.
Okay.
So it's one of those, you're either for it or against it. If you say you're against it, even though it's going to cause racial division, if you say you're against it, then it means you're against Aboriginals, which is also causing division. It's just insane what's going on here at the moment.
Okay.
But,
Well, that's fine. I appreciate your position here, and I'm thankful that you made an attempt to answer. At least I know a little more than I did before I spoke to you.
Yeah.
Just while I have a real Australian here.
Well, I was born in England, John. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't know anything about your background at all.
Okay. Yep. No, I was born in Lancashire,
Right.
a town called Nelson, which the demographics are completely different to the time that I was born.
Sure.
I migrated out here in 1990.
Right.
So
The only thing I know about you is what I've been told, that you have spent a great deal of time on Dangerfield's channel.
yes.
That's as much
I
as
got
I
the
know.
nickname.
Yeah, you
that's
get
where I
this.
got the nickname Field Marshal.
Yeah, she's our highest ranking scrub.
Quite.
There you are. Honoured at last, eh?
I love you, Packer.
So you're quite happy living there, obviously.
Well, there's some things that sort of break my heart, because as I've woken up to a few things, I've developed just a stronger connection to my homeland.
Sure.
So there are some things that upset me because I can't just pack up and leave. I have 2 sons here, 2 grandchildren with another one on the way. And plus my mother and stepfather migrated 10 years after I did. Right. So you're talking about packing up a lot of people, moving back to England. Plus the father of my children and I aren't together anymore. We split after 19 years of being together due to irreconcilable issues with mental illness.
Okay.
That could have been harmful for myself and my children. And so now, you've probably seen from my videos, my partner, who I refer to as hubby, aka Master Ben, he's part Maori, and he also has ties to this region through his massive family.
Well,
so, but other than that, I'm happy here.
Good. But these things are rarely straightforward. Yeah.
Precisely. Yeah.
We're all entangled in the lives that we live,
Yep.
sometimes happily.
Have you seen your Julia?
Julia, yeah, she's Julia Skinner. Yeah, she's here tonight somewhere. She's in the chat.
Oh, I might be getting mixed up. What's your
Oh, you're thinking of Linda?
Lynn? No. Sorry, my mind's gone blank. Somebody help me. The lady who's been sick.
Well, that might be
The
Julia.
lady who was sick.
No, it doesn't help me. Laura, my Laura.
Laura, that's it. Yeah,
Uh,
sorry. Yep. Thank you.
Well, that's my good lady, Laura.
Yep.
We've been together for over 26 years.
Oh wow.
And we live in separate houses. She has her family, I have my family, and we go on great. I consider her to be my third wife. And she's never been the same since lockdown. That's what started her real collapse of health. So I've got personal reasons never to forget and never to forgive what the outcome. And that's only one person out of millions.
Yeah.
And she's still fighting to get back on her feet. She's essentially housebound at the moment, but slowly but surely she's beginning to make a little bit of a recovery. But it's a long, hard road.
Yeah.
And because her body's weakened now, she's open to every infection and bug that's going around. You know.
Yeah. What was it with lockdowns that really affected her?
Social isolation. I mean, okay, she's living with my adopted daughter, Lorraine, but Lorraine's got MS. So they were doubly locked down, so to speak, you know.
Oh,
and
gosh.
despite me constantly talking to them, they would insist on watching that damn television, and they frightened the hell out of the two of them, and they just wouldn't listen to me. And they've taken all the drugs.
Oh no.
And of course, that left me in a position that I couldn't do very much talking about it because of them.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want.
Yeah, Mum and I fell out for a little while too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just don't talk about it anymore.
My son also took the first jag, thinking wrongly that he would get to see his gran, who was in a nursing home at the time. And of course, that never happens. He never got to see his gran. And my sister and I weren't allowed to be there when she passed away. And so I've got a lot. Is that a chicken?
No, that's a Australian magpie.
All right.
They're singing for their breakfast.
What a noise. Anyway, I've got a lot vested in this stuff personally.
Yes. Let's get on to something happy.
But she does as well as she can do, Laura.
Yeah.
And Lorraine's a lot better off, fortunately. But I don't know if Laura will ever get anywhere close to what she used to
be. Yeah.
The arthritis, of course.
What is she now?
Let me think. I've got to think. She's 74.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's no spring chicken, but there again, neither am I.
Yep.
But she did enjoy better health than she has now. Let me put it that way. She was still able to get out and about before the lockdowns. That was it. You know.
Yeah.
And then she believed all the propaganda, which terrified her.
Yeah. Well, it was meant to.
Of course, of course. I'm fortunate in insofar as my son only took that one, and then when he realised that they were lying to him, that was it. And despite all
Yeah.
the pressure from his workplace, he still has only taken the one and will never take another one. But I still worry about him. Anytime he says, "Oh, I'm not feeling great, Dad," I worry.
Yeah, it's always on the back of your mind, no
Yeah,
doubt. Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Master Ben took 8 months off work. He refused to get the jabs. Um, he's the people who employ him are just legends, really.
Yeah,
We worked something out with them so that they could keep him on the books until the last minute. Then they had to let him go, and so he got to dip into sort of like an insurance fund, which helped us out. And then within a month, the mandates had been lifted, and he got a phone call the very same day that it was announced, asking him to come back.
good, good.
So
Thank you, MYT, for your kind thoughts. All the best, he's saying. All the best, Laura. The criminal lockdown. All need to get, all to get the body count up. Heads need to roll. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, people like us will never forget, nor will we ever forgive.
Mm.
That's for sure. And
Well,
I'm
a lot of
sure.
people here say that our premier is responsible for over 800 deaths in aged care. When everything started, we were watching doctors. One in particular, Dr. Mark Hobart, have his practices raided of all his patients' files. He was reporting early on that when elderly people were getting the vaccines, if they'd already had COVID, it was killing them basically. And yeah, so there's a lot of animosity here. Linda Hunter loves Daniel Andrews, don't you, darling? Not.
Well, some of the footage that I've seen when we were going through that from Australia looked pretty bad. The police looked incredibly brutal and indiscriminate in their
Oh
brutality.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
hope,
They're
and I
trying
hope
to.
they're trying to pretend I was only following orders.
Yeah, they're trying to gain favour now with the public, but it's just not working.
No, and
Um,
no reason why it should either have done.
yeah, exactly.
The trouble is, although we don't say it, we all know in our hearts that these buggers, they're going to get away with it. They are.
Uh,
They're, they're never going to face any real justice for what they have done.
They always do, John.
I know. I know. Well, I take solace in the fact that each one of them, Parker, is going to have to face Jesus Christ. And I'm glad I'm not one of them. No, I wouldn't like to face Jesus with that. But that's just my certainty about the afterlife. So they will have their day of judgment to face. And I'm sure the good Lord will dispense his righteous justice to them.
I hope so. But they always do. There was I think I watched donkeys years ago, and they listed all the disasters caused by people. That that coal heap slipping down onto that school being one of them.
Oh, half a van, the thing I was talking about the other
Yeah,
week.
that was on the list, and there was a ferry disaster.
Yeah.
amongst other things. And yeah, no one's ever been held accountable. The nearest anything anybody ever got held accountable for was Hillsborough, and not really, was it? And that took nearly 30 years.
And that was due to the tenacity of the Liverpudlians.
Yeah. And even then, who went to prison?
It's still a bit of a whitewash, though.
Oh yeah.
Bit of a whitewash. I don't know enough about it. Somebody like Toffee probably knows. But it looked from where I was sitting that at least the football clubs were in full support, which was something, I suppose. And of course, the Daily Record has never been sold in Liverpool since, which I just think is brilliant how the people of Liverpool pulled that off. But it isn't. I mean, it's not the justice that's needed. This is the thing. It's not the justice that's needed. So we'll see it on the other side. I'm sure of that, if not on this side.
I'm keeping quiet for a moment because I don't want a Fed post.
Well, that's okay, Don.
Makes me so bloody angry.
We're all the same. That's a great
Sorry
sound.
about that.
That's a great sound. Are
Yeah.
you feeding that bird?
They've been fed. Yeah, they've toddled off. They've probably gone next door to see what they have on offer. I can still hear them in the background. People are just going on their way to work. We live on. It's actually like a semi-rural road, but there's a new industrial area that's been built, like probably about 5 kilometres away, and a lot of people use this our road as like a shortcut to work.
Okay.
So it sort of gets busy at this time of morning, which is crazy because like the road is so poorly maintained. It literally is like driving on a roller coaster. I mean, I've got like 4-wheel drive and everything. I don't drive down the road. I use it a different way. Crazy.
Sure.
So well, I'm gonna go and get myself a coffee.
Get your breakfast.
What should I have for breakfast? Scrambled eggs, poached eggs, boiled eggs.
Make a nice
I might make myself, French omelette. There you go. And I've picked some chives from the garden, and that'll do me nicely.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Thanks for coming
I'll say
on.
love. No worries. You're a champ. I'll keep listening. Love everyone. I love you, and hopefully we can work something out as to why I can't participate in the comment section. Rather bizarre. I've looked at a few things and can't find anything my side, so it's a glitch with YouTube somewhere.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, maybe we should both compile a letter together, John, and send it off to YouTube.
Oh, yeah, Mr. YouTube.
Dear Mr. YouTube, can you please tell me why Phil Marshall, Phil Brown, and you blocked? All right, must go. Love, everyone.
Bye just now. Take care. That was a surprise.
A nice surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what was going on earlier, folks. I haven't a clue. No idea. It shouldn't have happened, but there you go. Have you spoken to Dawn before? Is she a regular on Dangerfield?
She's regular in the chat.
I
think she might have been on once or twice, but I learned more just then about Dawn than I ever have before.
Yeah, she seems a nice enough lady.
She's lovely.
Yeah,
She's well respected.
not surprised. And she looks as though, from the videos, she looks as though she's living quite a nice life. Seems to be very relaxed, and there's those animals around about her.
Yeah, I don't know why she would be considering coming back here.
Oh God, no, no, she's better where she is.
Oh yeah, stay right where you are.
It's just me, this idea that you've got to watch everywhere you put your hands in case there's some creepy crawly that's going to kill you.
I feel the same. Yeah, I'm sure you get used to it, but I do see where you're coming from. I wouldn't like to go camping.
No, it's not a place you would want to go camping, for God's sake, no. You're waking up in the morning, unzip the tent, and there's an army of insects waiting.
Steve wouldn't like it because of the midges.
I wouldn't like it either for that.
Well, you get plenty up your way, didn't you, midges?
Oh, yeah. It's the bane of Scotland. If Scotland didn't have midges, it would be perfect when the weather's good. Mind you, having said that, I was with Laura and Lorraine and my big pal Jerry. We went up to Drumner Droghett at his expense, and the weather was like this. It was glorious and not a midgie in sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very unusual. We went up prepared, with the what do you call it, the fine netting, all of that. Didn't need it. Didn't need it. It was beautiful.
They prefer some people to others, don't they?
Yes, it's all about blood and temperature.
I got married up on Mull first time I got married, and so a lot of the family came up, and my sister-in-law got literally eaten alive.
Yeah. See, Laura tends to be that way, and so did Helen. But the thing that they had in common was they're naturally warm-bodied, and I think that's something to do with that, the temperature that your body is at.
Linda's calling us out, John.
Well, you see, I'm cold rife. I feel the cold most of the time.
Linda's calling us out. She's calling us weaklings. It's fine except for the bugs, beasts, drop bears. No one believes that.
Bloody weakness. All right, I see it. Bloody weaklings. It's fine except for the bugs and beasts, drop bears, whatever they are, and floods.
Koalas, John.
Oh, is it? Right, koala. Yeah. Right.
They like to pretend to the world that koalas will drop out of trees onto you and attack you.
They look cute, those koalas. Probably not, but they look cute. Yes, I would agree with you, Linda. I've got no hesitation in saying, yeah, you can keep all your creepy crawlies to yourself. Having said that, when I was in the Arizona desert, I never gave one thought to the possibility of stumbling upon a rattlesnake or scorpions or anything. Never thought about it. But no, Australia's got such a reputation for beasties that can kill you. And they don't have to be big physically either to be able to do it. Some of these small spiders, I believe, are really deadly, Parker.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not overly keen on spiders. Not the poisonous ones, anyway.
No. But yeah, she seems a nice lady. I don't know how she found this channel, but there you go.
She probably migrated with the rest of us scrubs at some point.
Must have been. Not that I'm complaining, of course. So, have you got anything planned for this weekend?
I'm supposed to be taking the boy karting on Saturday
Right.
at a local track, but I've got to go and pick up a trolley to put the cart on. I've got to go and get the bleeding thing started. There's a knack to it. It's 2-stroke, and
Right.
once you start it, if you're not in it and racing within like a minute, it'll flood, and then you're
Right.
knackered for the day. So I've got the wife scouring the internet for a 4-stroke engine for it, which will be a lot easier.
Listen, folks, before I forget, Friday night is poetry stream, and we're kind of short on poems.
I
All
keep
those-
meaning to write one, but
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's only a couple of days from here, and I don't have any. And I've already invited, obviously 42 will be here, myself, and I've invited Chris Webster to be on with us. I thought that would be an interesting trio, with Chris being a writer. So that'd be good. But we need poems, folks. So please have a look round and see what you've got.
can you
lying
just say, John, just for my satisfaction, there might be some people in the chat that would enjoy it. Can you just say in a loud, angry voice, poems, everybody? The boy reckons himself a poet.
Get their poems into me. Either that or I'll send the crew round. That do you?
Yeah, that'll do.
That do. Yes, I can shout. I just don't normally. It depends on the topic. Depends on the topic. I can lose my temper and I can shout and holler and I can curse. I don't like to think too long on the children that have been damaged in this country. That gets me every time. Every time. I try to keep that under control. But there you go. We're getting the 11 o'clock warning, folks, and that's okay, because I'm aware now that it's 11 o'clock. Thanks for that, Steve. Thanks for that, Exiled. But yes, seriously, try and get something written if you haven't already got something written. Otherwise, it's going to be 42, Chris and myself. But the whole point of the stream is to get audience involvement here. So without your input, it becomes another stream. And that was never the intention. Oh yeah, I've been asked for this umpteen times, and I better make another note of it. This poem by Kipling, Wrath of the Awakened Saxon, or Beginnings.
I do know it.
I've been asked a few times by various people to read this. I know it's very popular amongst our folk. Okay, Anglo, I've got that written out. I'll try and catch a link to it and include it in the live stream. I know it's very popular. That was well hard, says John. Treble M thinks that was well hard. Me saying that. You going to try and write something yourself, Parker?
I don't think I've got time. I've never written a poem. My dad writes poems,
Yeah.
but I've never even tried. No. If I anything, the only thing like that I ever do is rewrite songs just to make them stupid.
Or you take someone else's song and then do a parody?
Rewrite it. I wrote that one about Larry, Matchstick Men and Matchstick Cats and Dogs.
Yeah.
I rewrote that about a handyman in a nursing home.
Well, why don't you come on and sing it?
You've got to be kidding.
Why is that?
I can't sing.
Well, when does that ever stop a pop star?
Oh, I don't know. It's quite a long song as well, and I've lost it, unfortunately.
42 has a talent for poetry, says Toffee.
He does.
He certainly does that. Oh, he'll come with loads, you know. But again, it's not meant to be centered on us. It's meant to be centered on the audience. That was always the intention.
I might trouble him. I might ask my dad if he wants to, if he'll send me one.
Yeah.
If he feels like having it critiqued.
Well, it's not even a critique. What happens is you send the poem in, and either I read it, or 42 reads it, or perhaps Chris. And if there's any comments, then there's comments. But it's not a critique. It's not like that either. 42 and I talked about this. You know, I don't want to turn it into a competition. It's not a competition. And it's not meant to be literary criticism either. It's just to give people who do write poetry, normally men who write poetry do it in semi-secret. People tend not to know about it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was unaware my dad wrote poetry for years. My brother told me.
Yeah. And that tends to be the way with a lot of working class people, which is kind of sad, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Poetry used to be a thing. The thing about poetry is, Parker, and I always stress this to people, poetry was never meant to be silently read. Poetry was always to be read aloud. And even that means two people in the room, one reading the poem and one listening. And that's been missed. It's been missed for a long time, thanks to formal education. It became a silent thing. People read them silently. And that's not the way they were meant to be heard. They were meant to be spoken aloud. And that's why when I discovered that 42 was keen on poetry and wrote stuff himself, we had this idea about getting a poetry stream up and running. Not something regularly, but you know, maybe like twice a year or something. No, you wee cat.
He wants to go out.
Does he?
Yeah. He's sitting on the stool looking at me, squinting.
Come and open this door.
I'll let you out in a bit, mate.
Go and let him out and come back. Go on, let him out. Hanging about. Stricky's wanting to know if he can do. Can I do a rap, John?
No.
The chat love hip hop. Packer's saying no. He knows something about this that I don't, obviously. So he's saying no, you can't do a rap. I'll ask him. Treble him when he comes back. Yeah. Well, you've got a formal request here.
Yeah, so I will. I'll ask.
Yeah,
I might ask my brother because
that's all you
my
can do is ask. You know,
my brother's got access to his poems and he's more computer literate. And
yeah, if you can put it into a JPEG and send it, and you can forward it to me.
I'll see if I can get it to you somehow. If I
That'd
can,
be great.
if I could get it to me, I could possibly come on and read it out, or I'll send it to. Who's got your email? Steve.
Well, Steve will have it.
I'll send it to Steve then.
There's my email address there.
Right.
Cartomancer.
Writing it down, John.
Right?
Pen and paper, look. I'm
Cartomancer.
all up with this modern technology.
This is a French word. Cartomancer. Steve's has it at hotmail.co.uk. Well, if your brother can send you a JPEG, then you can forward it on to me. And if you want either me or 42 or Chris to read it, then just make that known and that can happen.
I don't mind who. Not my poem.
Well, that would be something. That'd be interesting to hear what your dad was writing. At least I would find that interesting.
Honestly, I know he does, but I've probably heard 2 or 3 that he's ever. I think he writes lots. But my brother turned one into a song, but it was about. The poem was about my mum, and it was really sad.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with sad.
Well, no, because it's my mum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I've written sad songs. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's the thing about sad songs is if it's about your mum, then everyone has a mum who eventually passes away, so we can all connect to that.
Yeah.
That's
But
that's
it was just it was because it.
maybe it was too personal. I don't know. Obviously,
No, not that so much. It was about how my dad felt about it, and I know how much it hurt my dad. Do you know what I mean? I saw the pain, and it is painful for me to listen to.
yeah.
If you
No,
understand what I mean.
no, I get that. I wrote a song a good few years after Helen passed away called Our Last December. And when I came to record it, it took me 39 takes to get a recording,
To get through it.
to get through it. And
Yeah.
and when you listen to that recording, you will hear me slightly going off melody. And that was, I had to leave it at that. That was as good as I could do it. And even today, my ambition is to be able to sit and play it live to any kind of audience and get through it. And I've never done it, even though when it was just the 2 girls who would be here. I've never managed to get through it. And that's Helen's dead a long time now, a long time. So some wounds are always deep. But at least I managed one recording of it. But I've never spent that amount of time on one song ever. you know. But it's the way I recorded in those days when I was recording. I would sing the song all the way through. So it's more of a performance that way rather than bits, you know.
Right.
And that was the problem. I would never get to the end. Not even close at times would I get to it. And then eventually, after 38 takes, I got this take and I thought, that's it. That's as good as I'm ever going to be able to do with this. I can hear myself go off, you know.
Yeah.
But I think an audience will accept it because you'll hear all the emotion in the voice anyway. And so people recognize that's why this is what's happening. This is very emotional for this fella.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll see what I'll do. I'll get hold of my brother tomorrow sometime because I'm pretty sure he knows where these poems are and get hold of some or one or pick a good one.
Yeah, well, leave it up to yourselves. MYT is saying, John, you are a poet, mate. Expressed through your music. And Duck saying, it's honest, John. Yeah, it is. But I've always got this imagination here about this particular song. You know, I'm in a theatre, big theatre, packed audience, couple of thousand people. I've done my guitar stuff, and behind me is a grand piano. And I put the guitar down, I walk to the grand piano, and I sit down at the grand piano, and the lights go down, single spot, and I sing that song, and the house comes down. I'd never get through that song. No, the tears would be all over the place, I'm telling you. It was a nice wee dream, it was a nice wee vision to have, you know.
Yeah.
But never have. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Some wounds are like that. Some wounds are like that. They never heal. But there you go. And I'm very fortunate in the sense that I did write a song for my mother, but I wrote that while she was alive. So that wasn't so bad. I doubt if I could do it now.
I really should try thinking about it because I do rewrite a lot of songs, but I just
Well,
make them stupid. And I'm sure if I tried, I could do it properly.
yeah, well, I don't want to say too much about that. I would encourage you to try. What have you got to lose? You might discover something about yourself that you didn't know.
I might.
I mean, it doesn't mean you have to go public with anything that you write. Space Hopper saying the tears would make it more beautiful. I've thought about it. I mean, I've even played, believe it or not, I've actually played with the idea of trying to do it on here, live, that song. But
You're not confident you'd make it through it, are you?
I'm sure I wouldn't make it through it. I'm sure I wouldn't make it through it. And I wouldn't, I mean, it's not as if I'd be putting anything on. I'd be overcome with emotions. No, not an audience was there. And as I say, I've tried it and given up on it. I just can't do it. And it's not even a song that I play very often. I mean, even playing the song itself, I get terribly emotional. just listening to it, you know. And there you go. That's the way I'm made, and I don't intend to try and change it. It's the way I am. So yeah, please do. I'd be very interested to find out how you go on with that.
I'll let you know.
Obviously, if your dad has done it, it's there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, brother's musical. He writes, you know, he can play instruments and write songs. But he might have got all the talent. I don't know.
Mm, maybe that's part of what puts you up off
I don't
your
know.
brother. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. He's very musical, and I tried to learn instruments and failed miserably.
Well, perhaps that's not where your talent is. Perhaps your talent's in the words.
I don't know. It's bizarre. Me and my brother, we're very, very alike, but totally different in talent.
Mm.
It's very strange. He can't hang a shelf to save his life. Poor bloke. I don't think he could wire a plug.
Well, again, that's a different kind of talent and ability. I know my big pal Jerry. I don't think he could ever. I don't think he ever hammered a nail into a wall in his life. But that's the way some people are, you know. I know that when I was first introduced to poetry in school, the very first time I heard a poem recited by my English teacher, I was blown away by that. And I remember distinctly saying to myself, one day I want to be able to do that. It had such an effect on me. Not saying I had to work hard and over a long many year to get there, but yeah, that's where it started for me. Just because I heard this, hugely influential. Just hearing it, and that's why I say you need to hear poetry. You shouldn't really be reading it silently. It's it's okay, but even if you're in the room yourself and you're reading poetry, you should read it aloud. It might sound a bit daft to some people, but no, I strongly recommend reading poetry aloud. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're almost coming up to the halfway mark now, Parker.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get off. To be fair.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I
It's been
think,
an absolute pleasure chatting to you, though.
yeah, as
Even
always.
with the hiccup in the middle, and
Oh, I don't know what caused that. No idea.
it was a real joy going camping with Steve, and I will do it again because he's a funny bloke.
Yeah.
I've told him he needs to come on, but he won't. He's too shy.
Again, I asked him this afternoon would he want to come on and compliment your stories about the camping adventure, and he denied that. Well, I don't.
Yeah, it'd have been great because he's a lovely bloke. He's funny,
Yeah.
talkative. You know, he's way more talkative than I am.
Well, I definitely get that impression that he it flows more from Steve than it does from yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but no, he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't
No,
have it.
I've seen him once on a stream, and apparently he was really drunk.
Is that
I've only
right?
ever seen him once.
Yeah, well, some people are just like that. I'll tell you somebody else who I would dearly like to come on the live stream, but she'll never do it, and that's Treble M.
Yeah.
I mean, I have spoken to Treble M on the phone a few times over these years, and I can assure you she's got incredible life stories to tell. incredible stories. But like too many people, she doesn't like the sound of her own voice. And I know where that comes from. That comes from years ago and cheap microphones and tape recorders in the house and people messing about. They get this,
Yeah, I vaguely remember that when I was a kid.
yeah, and it made everyone sound awful. But no, she won't come on either. But she would make one heck of a guest, I'm telling you.
Them shoebox sized tape recorders with a microphone where you had to press play and record at the same time, and then
That's it.
try
That's
and record a record off the top 40 that you liked just as your mum came in and announced it was dinner time.
it. Quite right. Yeah, I remember all of that. Yeah, I remember. That's where I started recording on an open reel.
Yeah, I used to have a tape to tape recorder in a stack system that I had years ago. I might still have
Yeah.
it, probably not, but that was fun because then you could, keep overlaying.
Mm. Overdubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a forerunner to multi-tracking, of course. Same idea. I take it your brother's into all of
Oh God, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can do all that. You can do all that on a computer.
that. Oh, right. Right. I look at when I think of recording, I'm looking for a tape recorder. But that's the age thing again, you know. The idea of using a computer for directly for recording is very, very strange and alien to me, you know.
He works with them,
Ah,
so
right. Yeah. October is saying pre-80s stereo equipment is worth a penny or two, Parker.
yeah. I don't think I've still got it. I might have. But if I
I
have,
don't
it's
have it. I don't have any of that early stuff either. In fact, the stuff that I used to use is now no longer working and hasn't been for a while. That's what's elevated me into doing live streams, if you can call it elevation. So there we go. I could torture you all to death and play that song that I've been rabbiting on about, but I'm not going to. Have you all in tears?
I'd like to hear the recording.
Would you? Really?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to put you under the pressure of doing it live.
Oh, that's just me. That's me. You see, this idea of um, playing live to this audience, who are always kind to me. Could I do it that one more time? So I haven't played live in front of an audience. I gave it up when I was 40. I did. I was invited to do this folk concert, and I was top of the bill, and I had spent years to get there to the top of the bill, and I
Have
went
you seen what
along.
Williams put?
What's that?
Ban him, John.
John's first song was chiseled onto tablet. Now, if we could only find that tablet, William, it would be worth some money.
It wasn't words; it was pictures.
Hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I went along to the concert, did my first part, had a break. It went very well. I went on, being last on, of course. And as I stood there, I noticed that the audience get quieter and quieter and quieter, which is very unusual in a folk club. I went silent and I started to play, and I got this encore And that night I thought, it's not going to get any better, John, than this. Leave on I. And I never played live again.
Ah,
Because by that time, folk music was on its kind of last leg, so to speak, you know. But if you really wanted to press me on a song, I would play it for you.
yeah, I'll do
It's,
that one.
Okay.
Folk music's not dead anyway.
Sorry?
Folk music's not dead. There's a
Yeah,
Cambridge Folk
but,
Festival still going, isn't it?
but all the places that you could actually go and play
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
began to dry up because the audiences were getting smaller and smaller until most of them disappeared and never came back. This is the problem, you know. All I have to do now is find the damn thing, whatever it is.
Right.
So
Okay, well, I'm going to call that it.
you're going off then? You're going
Yes,
off?
yes, I'm going off. Yes. And it's
Okay.
like
Well,
I say,
thanks
it's been an
again.
absolute
Thanks
pleasure.
again for coming on.
Oh, thanks
I
for
always,
having me.
I always enjoy your chat, and you obviously had a great time, and I'm really pleased that you're going to do it again. That's
Yeah, I
good
don't see
news.
why not. I can't
No
think of a
reason.
reason why not.
So long as you get a wee bit of weather, that's all you need.
No.
And if the boys get hardy, then you might even not need the great weather.
No. Oh, just a message to Steve. These mattresses, they will fold and go in the back of your car if you put the seats down. So you won't need to bring a trailer. Or I can bring them to you. It's up to you. There you go.
There you go.
All right, that's it then. Thanks, everybody.
No
Always a
problem.
pleasure to come talk to John. Thanks for having me. Ta-ta.
Okay, doke. Thank you for being here, Packer. I appreciate that. I'll see if I can find this song. Funny when I'm looking for things, I can't find them. Anyway, that was a nice surprise having Dawn on. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I can't see it. Maybe I'll have to wait for another time. Did It's got to be here somewhere, John. I'll probably find it afterwards. That's ridiculous. Why can't I see that? Because I'm not meant to. Anyway, folks, please do your best and get some poetry in for Friday night. That would be really good. And take all the stress off the presenters. The idea is that it's meant to be inclusive of the audience. It was always that to be the center was your material, not ours. Because from this position, we can present our material anytime. Whereas that doesn't always apply to your good selves. So if you can put something together, or if you've got something that's lying about, it would be great. There it is here. I found it. Right, I'm going to play this in because back I kind of asked. So here is that song. Just let me take these earmuffs off. And there it is. I put visuals to it eventually. But I hope you enjoy it.
If I could turn back the time, the one thing I would do, take her in these empty arms and love her through and through. When she died, love died too. Rose my restless heart. It was ending with no pretending. That never was our style. I remember our last December. She crushed it with her smile. In the stillness of my mind, I know that she still cares. She comes to lift the sorry soul and prove that she's still there. When she died, love died too. Rose my restless heart. It was ending with no pretending. That never was our style. I remember our last December. How she crushed it with her smile. In the glow of Christmas light, she softly asked me why our summer dream so suddenly to our season of goodbye. She was dying, no point in lying. It never was our style. I remember our last December, how she crushed it with her smile.
I'm saying you can. You're right. It was difficult to write, and it was even more difficult to record. And I've never been able to play live. Well, thanks, Fiona Jane. I appreciate that. And thanks for letting me know, Linda Hunter, I was muted. So remember, if you can do something on the poetry front, that would be terrific. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. It was a few years after she passed away before in fact, it was a few years after she passed away before I was even able to pick up the guitar again. There was 3 or 4 years when I couldn't even pick up a guitar. So I had to kind of ease myself back into that, and then yes, it was difficult to write and even more difficult to record. So that's the song, Parker. That's it. And thanks for the recipe for the cough thing. I haven't even tried it yet. I've only today got all the ingredients together, and I'm going to make it when I come off. It was lovely, John, says Linda. Sad and lovely. Yeah. But that's the thing about tragedy in life. We can all identify with it, and I think that's why sad songs last. You know, really good sad songs last because we can all identify with the sadness being expressed, especially if it's wrapped around death. Yeah, it was difficult, Skywalker. It was very difficult. But I got there. Took 38 attempts to get there, but I got there. But anyway, all the best songs are always about sadness, stuck. All my songs are about unhappiness, yeah. And that all needs to come out. It all needs to come out. As I used to say to Lorraine, I explained it to Lorraine, and she would say to me, "Why is it always sad songs you write? Cut your wrist songs," she would call them. Well, the sadness is in here, and you turn it into song, and it comes out here. And I would say to her, every time I write a sad song, I get happier. That's how it works. That's how it works, Doc. May the farce be with you. Right. So I'm going to start up the outro music, and thank you all once again for being here, and thanks for the patience in the middle. No idea what was going on. And as I always say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Thursday night, 9 o'clock, enjoy the weather if you've still got it. And thanks, moderators and audience alike. Speak to you all soon. Bye just now. I'll get out of the way.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides a fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me.
That's correct, Doc. Absolutely.
Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together now.
But love's much more
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But an important
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past the consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and
very
me.
interesting topic.
Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
But we're much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
Well, thanks for all your praise, folks. It is much appreciated. Surprise on Toffee. That was a nice piece of honesty on his part. Oh, Skywalker knows how to play it now. Excellent. He can teach me. Yeah. That's great, Skywalker. Anyway, you take care of yourself, folks. And again, thanks all of you for being here. And thanks for the moderators for the job you do. And I'll speak to you all come Thursday. What's the first chord, John? G major. There is only two chords, G major and D. It's the chorus, standard progression. G, E minor, and D. That's it. That's your chorus. It's a very simple song. Anyway, take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon.